Hello, Sharpies. And hello, Anthony Turner, who plays no games with you peoples because he hopped right in there. I was like, hey, we ain't got no viewers. Hello. And there Anthony was right there.
You
Wait,
ain't gonna beat Anthony. Anthony said
no.
before we were.
I know that's right. He was and hugs. Thank you, Anthony, to all of the Steel Sharp and Steel family. We are happy to be back. Thank you once again for joining us. I'm Tom Cunningham.
I'm Chuck Hobbs.
And I am Joy Stevens.
Yes, you is. Sharpies. My goodness, watching the January 6th hearings has been like a Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. These legislators have been up in here like dropping receipts, sucking teeth, ooh-chilin', working their necks, and showing the footage that people did not want them to see. I mean, they just couldn't nobody have wanted to
Like
see some of this footage that came out
the
this
mascot,
week.
the mascot for this hearing should be the emoji with the nails and the big lips. Like, and let me tell you something. Like just straight ghetto with the clicky clack nails that are like
Yeah,
this long.
just hood.
Yes,
Just hood.
right. It's
Um,
people in the hood. Like, damn, they snitch. Like,
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And can I just say, or may I just say, because I know I can say it because this our show, but you see, ain't nobody come out to contradict Cassie Hutchinson yet.
Mm.
You
yes, I
notice
did.
that, right?
I did in
Because
fact know.
it was a whole lot of fecal lip motion when she can't. Oh, that
Oh,
didn't happen. Such as a,
mhm,
and Contranto is about to come out here
mhm.
and sing and tell everybody that she a lie. Ain't nothing. We don't talk about Cassie. No,
Right.
no, no.
No, no,
We
no.
don't talk about Cassie. It's just it's nasty, and they lost the text. How? First of all, you're the Secret Service. You're right there. You're right. Your whole job is to keep him safe, especially in D.C. You right there next to the National Archives. You know the rules. You know you're not
Mhm,
supposed to do nothing. As soon as January 7th came around, somebody should have said, you know what? Let me just back this up. Let me just
mhm.
tick a tack.
I'll
Let me
play. Right.
because what I do know is that on January 7th, when you knew all of that correspondence was going to be important, that's when you back up to the cloud. You don't back your pictures up to the cloud after a year and a half after you've left Ibiza.
Hmm.
You get them pictures, you put them in your thing, and then overnight you plug in your phone and you turn the screen off so that it can back up and it'll send your little pictures to the cloud and your messages and everything else so that you have it so that when you wake up and you drop your phone in the Mediterranean, you still have your stuff because it's in the cloud. And you
Hmm.
gonna try to tell me that because you were doing an iPhone upgrade, all you I've had 6 iPhones. This is how many messages I've lost. This
Right.
many.
I've tried to delete some messages and turn around and they're still there. Like, why?
And how
Why
about
not
this?
block that dude?
It's all on phones, which means it went at some point it went through the air and into a satellite or something
Yeah.
and then into a server and then back down to the other phone. You trying to tell me none of those things have copies of these messages? And somebody's going to say, "Oh, Tom, it was a BlackBerry DM," or "Oh, Tom, it was an iPhone to iPhone message," or some shit like that.
Whatever.
So those are those are still encrypted and they're around.
Hmm.
Now, you
They're
might
still out
need to
there.
unencrypt them or you might need to sync something, but you can't tell me that the United States government in charge of protecting the president doesn't have something that's more robust than, "Hey
Screenshot
Phil,
that.
did you
Right.
did you yeah, you're lying." And that just means Cassie telling the truth. And guess what? Here's how you're stuck because you think all them text messages are gone and scrubbed. You think nobody was on Team Cassie and screenshotted anything.
Let me
And
tell
so
you
you
something.
go ahead now.
I used to write emails back and forth with my friends, and we were all working in offices and stuff around 2008, maybe 2006. And I left that job, moved on, got a new computer, erased all my old stuff, got rid of the email address, this all this other kind of stuff. We're talking 2006, 2007. When I tell you, when I reinstalled Outlook on my computer last year, I
It's a
found
grrr,
emails,
grrr, grrr.
right, 6,700 emails that have been deleted. I'm seeing messages about dudes that don't, honestly, that aren't even alive, right? And it's email.
Wow.
Like, God damn. I forgot we had this conversation. One of my friends was like, "Hey, Joy, you still have that conversation we had about socks and marriage?" And I was like,
That
"No, let me go
sucks.
look." I had a whole blog about socks and marriage one time. You got to find soulmate. I was deep, but anyway,
Not the sock mate.
but it just popped up. I was like, socks and marriage. Boom, 2009. What the? So if you think it's gone, and I was trying to delete it through the computer, through the whole computer
Through
away.
the whole thing.
Yeah, but my thing's like, oh, Outlook. Yeah, we remember you.
Yeah,
Cheers.
Microsoft, hello.
Mhm.
And so this is why I'm just not buying it. And that just means it is getting more worser.
If he was a teenage drug dealer, they'd have all his shit out.
All of it. First of all, if he were a teenage drug dealer, as soon as they said, you know what, it's some text, it would have been Sprint or, Hillary Com or whatever.
It'd have been all page 9 from
Right.
2000, from 7 years ago. We only need January 6th. But before that, we got this.
Right.
When he was 4, he did this. Yeah, all of that.
I got January 4th, January 5th, January 8th. Wait.
Hmm.
What?
I got dick pics he sent his girl. I got all of
And yet,
it.
and yet, they can't find these text messages. And now the inspector general, breaking news, the inspector general says, y'all, stop it.
Hmm.
This has been upgraded to a criminal investigation, and you trying to run around and delete the last vestiges of the text message is getting in the way of my investigation. So you need to unlatch, unclench your hands, leave them text messages alone. We gonna find them. And here's the real scoop. You know why they haven't testified? Because they thought they were going to be able to get on the stand and refute her testimony because there's no record of the text messages. And somebody said, screenshots, ho.
Hmm.
And that's why they silent. Because lying to Congress is a for real crime.
You know
And
what's
an old
crazy?
boy who left the Secret Service to become a deputy chief of staff for Trump ain't no deputy chief of staff no more. So he back to the service, and he gonna be back to the garbage service if
Hmm.
somebody rebuts his testimony with a screenshot of a message. Can you believe this clown had his hands around my throat? And it's gonna be trouble, gonna be
Bubble
trouble.
blue,
It's gonna be trouble.
right?
Um, but I have to say, I don't know, Chuck. I'm gonna ask you to weigh in on this. Um, who is your favorite congressperson on the January 6th committee, and why is it Liz Cheney?
Yeah, yeah. The funny. That's a good question. I like how you spun.
Move your boom, Mike. We can't hear you, baby.
Oh, hold on.
No, flip.
Hold on. Hear me
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's much more better.
better? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that's fascinating about all of this is Liz Cheney is a real conservative. She's
Oh,
somebody who, before all of this went down, we probably would have disagreed with her on 9 out of 10 issues, right?
11 out of 10.
11 out of 10. There it is. And yet, what I appreciate about her and will always appreciate is that she was able to put aside partisanship
Hmm.
for the purpose of doing the right thing.
Right.
And she may never get the credit in the immediate from her colleagues, but I am starting to see, when I say starting to see, I'm seeing it on social media, I'm reading about it in traditional media. I always try to keep one eye on what's going on over there in the
Mm.
GOP. There are a lot of Republicans who are in their own way. They don't have the courage that Liz Cheney has shown, but they are starting to push back against Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mhm.
it's going to be extremely interesting to see. You know, some people have depicted it as the rats getting off the SS Trump Titanic. That's
Mhm.
probably one of the more humorous. There it is, right there. You know, perfect timing, right? And
We
so,
had the very best rats. Our rats were the best, and
right,
and
Golden rats.
right,
the more rats than anybody on anybody's ship. They're the
absolutely.
best swimmers. They're swimming.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But what's interesting about it all is that it seems as if, you know, that there are people who are finally waking up to the fact that um, this guy just defied. You know, I had someone on Facebook yesterday. I can't remember which one of my Facebook friends wrote this, but they wrote something to the effect of, and Tom, it might have been you, comparing this to Watergate.
No,
And
that wasn't me. But go ahead.
okay, got you. But somebody made some very great comments about the fact that, you know, this makes Watergate look elementary by
Oh,
comparison,
psh.
and God knows that's the truth. And I think that, you know, to the point that you and Joy have just been making about the text messages and things of that nature, it defies credibility, all credibility, for folks to try to pull that over on us. Joy just broke it down. There's nothing worse than sitting as a defense attorney next to a client in a trial, and the prosecution pulls out all of those messages. Yeah,
Jesus.
on this date you said blah 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 blah, and then you said, and you're just sitting there like, boy, okay, after this is all over, am I going to have a steak tonight, or am I going to buy me some chicken? Because this
Right.
ain't gonna take this jury very long, and what have you, because they've got all of these messages, and everyone is 100% right. The idea that they can do that on the corner dope boy, who's just slinging a little cane and what
Mhm.
have you, and not have it for the highest office in the land, it's just a bunch of BS. We know the messages are there. We know they can access them,
Mhm.
and it makes me wonder, y'all, what actually, how bad it really was.
Oh, it's really fucking bad. I'm
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
it's extra horrible.
yeah.
Mhm.
And you know, the thing that is so awesome
Mm-hmm.
about everything that we're seeing, I for one thought that the most entertaining testimony was going to be from that Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. That them lawyers and all of that back and forth, and Amber's lawyers, and I mean especially Johnny Depp's lawyers. Johnny Depp's lawyers were ruthless. They were like, so I thought you said you gave away the $7 million. It was my, but you said
Right.
you had given it all away. Can we roll that clip? Roll the beautiful bean footage.
I gave
And
them all away.
I gave it all away. And it's like, but isn't it still in your? Well, he sued me, but he sued you a month ago, and you got
Mhm.
the check 18 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
That math ain't mathin',
that
Amber.
math ain't mathin'. Thank you, younger generation, millennials, whoever you are, for the
The
math ain't
Z's came
mathin'.
through with that.
Because you know what, I'm a Zoomer. I'm not a Boomer. I'm just short of being a Boomer, so I'm a Zoomer. Math ain't math, and I don't have a problem saying. I feel perfectly comfortable.
Mhm.
Some of this stuff on Fleek, which is old from 5 years ago, some of that stuff didn't work for me. But the
Mhm.
word math sounds grown up, and math and mathin', I'm fine with that. So praise to you for doing that. You have delivered me and made me a little less uncool in the eyes of my children. So
Mhm.
I appreciate all of that. Um, and yet here we are with a president, former president, to be fair, who is running around here like he doesn't understand how exactly effed he is. Like, Ivanka knows,
Ivanka's like, please just,
just,
can we stop? Can we not? And he's like, no, no, I'm on a roll. She's like, oh my God.
and you know how crazy it is that this man just had his first wife to pass.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think he pushed her down the stairs.
well, I wasn't going to say that. I don't want to defame a former president.
I kid. We know he didn't push her down the stairs.
No, him nor Jeffrey Epstein.
Mm-mm.
So, I just think that at some point, somebody, and just to be clear, they didn't give them that much of a reprieve.
No.
Like the New York Letitia James, she was like, okay, you don't have to come in this week. How's Tuesday? Because he had to cancel one of his rallies because it was like, oh, if you go into the rally, you can come to the testimony.
Right, you can hear. What your mom used to say? You can hunt, you can hear.
Yeah, exactly. So if Ivana's gone and you've buried her, so bring that ass.
Bring that ass on.
You certainly ain't gonna run on no goddamn thing to yell and call me names in front of your screaming throng. This is something we're not going to do.
Right.
So
we not going damn do.
What we not going damn do.
I want to address what Yvonne DeBole said here. You know, word on the street is the Republican Party does not like Trump. They just want the votes of his base. That has always been the case. From
exactly.
Before he even won the nomination, all they wanted was the spectacle he brought with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been the spectacle ever since. He fucked around and found out how popular he really was, and all that did was further inflate his ego. And he was, you know, a stinky flag to stand behind for a long time, you know, and they all stood there and let that shit blow back on them because it was getting them publicity, and he was, you know, their stalking horse for a while. Like, look at him, he's doing everything, as they fuck up the country in the background. But that's always been what they wanted from him. But then when he started taking votes from him, from the Republican Party, when he started splitting the Republican Party, I love what Georgia was able to do as far as turning Georgia blue. I love the efforts that Stacey Abrams and her several organizations put into registering people to vote here in Georgia. But understand, this state was not going to be blue if Trump don't fuck up that election by stopping Republicans from voting for the Republican candidates. He told them, don't do it. And we got 2 blue senators. Now, they've been in for a minute. They've done a good job, and they stand a good chance of persevering. It's going to be iffy. But none of that happens. As much as Stacey did, none of that happens without him sabotaging his own party. And that was the beginning of the end for him. When you was cute, you start costing me money. Now you
that's right.
Money, you ain't cute no more.
No more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's a coward, and he always has been, but he's a coward with influence. And like you say, there are a number of people who aren't listening to the issues. They can't tell you the difference between Donald Trump versus a Brad Raffensperger or a Walker when it comes to policy. They can't, but they like the way Trump makes them feel when he's at those rallies, because he is a low-key comedian. I don't necessarily find 90% of the things he says humorous, but every now and again, you know, when you watch him in those rallies, you're like, "Boy, this dude is dumb." I mean, when I say dumb, like he's stupid, like we used to say.
He's not only dumb, he's also stupid.
Yeah. So I get it, but at the same time, I don't get it because it's, you know, I've always complained. And Tom will tell you this, Joy, like way back when it was just, you know, the two of us doing this on an occasional basis, or with Jimmy Green. You know, I've always said that there were far better Republicans that ran in 2016. Far better. I mean, they had some really, I mean, not people I would have voted for, but objectively speaking, they would have been able to articulate conservatism and represent conservative values far better.
Mitt Romney was not a bad candidate.
Right, you know.
But see, here's where the difference is, Chuck, because on paper, in the Nixon era or in the Reagan era of republicanism, Mitt Romney would have been fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what the Republican Party is. As much as they deified Ronald Reagan for 2 decades, let's be clear, up through Bush.
Yeah. Reagan was the gold standard.
Reagan was the man. Through W, Reagan was the man. And then when Bush imploded and gave us 8 years of Barack Obama for people to forget, Trump came in and filled the void. And when he came in and filled the void, there was no turning back, because they saw you don't have to be intelligent. You don't have to be articulate. You don't have to have all of the right policy positions. You don't have to do anything but dish out red meat to the base and have them come to the polls. That's all they wanted.
That is a deeper understanding of basic human nature than the Democrats the current
Ever.
block of Democrats have had in their recent history, understanding that people make emotional decisions. I talk about this all the time in some of the classes I teach about the amygdala and how it can hijack your whole brain, make you do something really, really stupid. But it also, when you decide to buy that sexy red sports car, you're not buying it because the JD Power and Associates thing said it was the number one vehicle. You're not getting it because it's got 9 airbags or whatever. You're
I know
getting it
that's right.
because it's beautiful and it makes you a little horny and you hope somebody looks at you and wants to get with you. That's why you bought it. Emotional decision that you then pick and choose and find facts to back up your irrational emotional decision. That is what has happened and continues to happen with Trump, and everyone supports him. He made them feel better about themselves and understand that there is a wide swath of white America that has been betrayed by the false promises over and over again. But rather than look at that group and say, why did you betray me? They continue to go where they've been pointed. No, it's that person's fault. It's those immigrants' fault. It's the Mexicans' fault. It's the blacks' fault. It's the trans fault. It's all of them that are ruining your life. And they continue to believe it. Trump came out and said, I hate all them people. Yeah. And I remember Meghan McCain on The View or whatever saying he hates who we hate, and that's why we like him. I'm paraphrasing, but
that's exactly Meghan.
Yeah.
That's completely Meghan. So that I mean, they did this to themselves. They literally did it to themselves. There's no, confusion about that. This is what they wanted. This is what they have been setting up to deal with since Atwater decided that this was the strategy to employ to win. And you know what? Another thing that is amazing to me, back in the day, Atwater was the one who introduced the idea of calling Democratic legislators Democrats, the Democrat Party. And there was even an ad where the demo was kind of off frame, and so he had rat highlighted. And somebody said, we got to start calling them the Democrat Party, the Democrat Party. And now you can't find, maybe Liz Cheney doesn't say it, you can't find a GOP talking head or a GOP or a right center pundit or a right pundit who won't say Democrat Party.
This is true.
And you don't have any Democrats saying the Republic Party, because that would be stupid.
Right.
People don't think the Democratic Party is bad because they associate Democrat with rat. They think the Democratic Party is bad because you've been vilifying and lying about the Democratic Party and calling them socialists and calling them communists and calling them this for
3 generations.
I mean, decades upon decades. You don't have to play childish semantic games. Although, given some of the educational advancement of people who are your base, maybe those sorts of linguistic tricks do work. I don't know. I know that The Daily Show is doing an exceptional job of putting embarrassing footage of people being really willfully stupid.
Daily Show be out for blood. I want to address Anthony here real quick. Joy, you should leave the Democratic National Committee. You know what the message would be. I absolutely should. And I would if they asked me to, because I did sales for 18 years. I understand marketing. I understand human nature. I'm a student of people. And I could have gotten Hillary Clinton elected if they had talked to me about it. I promise you, boo-boo, I could have got that woman elected. Her whole platform was wrong. And that was because they were out of touch with what the voting mass that was going to be there really wanted. They tried to put her forward as honest and trustworthy. And we already knew she wasn't. Don't try to
not at all
play to what she's good at. She's dirty and conniving, but she gets the job done. She ain't your grandmama. She's more like a evil fairy godmother. If they had played into that, just lean into that shit and be authentic. Because authenticity is what plays with millennials and Gen Z. And that was a big chunk of who they were hoping would vote for her. And she came up with a fake smile. I love my grandchildren. I read to them all the time. Girl, don't nobody believe you.
Right.
Nope. What's your grandchild's name?
Right.
What's your child's name? I'm kidding. She does love her family. I'm doing this for comedic effect. But I will say, if they had leaned into gotten to that Pensive Nation piece a year earlier and just went into, I don't care if you like me or not. I know it needs to be done. I'm a bad And I'm here to tell you, I'm the only one that can get it done. If she had come out with a strong message like that, she'd be president right now. Well, she would have been president this last round.
And the other issue there, y'all, is that, and I'm going to use a sports or sporting type activity analogy here, is they took the pedal off the metal. I mean, the foot off the pedal. And what that is, there's nothing worse than when you're in a ball game or even in a quiz bowl match, and you start to think, I got it. I'll never forget my senior year at Morehouse when we were playing Tuskegee Tom, and lost the nurse, and I was in the championship game. Tuskegee, they won 295 to 255. We were up by about 130 points midway through the second half. And, I haven't watched the video in a long time, but I remembered afterward, we kind of felt like we were good, if you get where I'm from. Because, yeah, and we got shut down and didn't answer another question for the last 3 or 4 minutes. And it was a lesson to me. Now, my career was over at that point, for the most part, all intents and purposes, but it still was a lesson that, damn, you really do have to keep your foot on the gas. And
can't let it go.
In October of 2016, Hillary was like, hey, I got this. That Billy Bush thing came out about grab them by the pee, and all of this type of stuff.
She thought that would help.
Yeah, I think she thought that she was good. Like, nobody's going to vote for this clown. And boy, she had a awakening. We all
but let's be clear. Yes, she was flawed. Yes, she didn't know. Donald Trump is a guy who plays word games and attacks. That's not you, Hillary.
He makes
right. He's a bully, and it is not you. And when she sat there and tried to say Trump up, trickle down, girl, wasn't nobody checking for you on that. First of all, it should have just been Trumple down. First of all, learn how to do a portmanteau.
Right.
Trumple down economics has Trump right next to down.
Yeah.
That's what you want. You want Trumple down. You don't want Trump up, trickle down, trick up, Trumple. No, girl.
Yeah,
that's how you. And it's not your strong suit. Your strong suit is being the grown up. The grown up in the pantsuit. You know what, Donald? You're right. I am not likable, but you know what I am? I'm capable.
That right there, shut the whole debate down.
That's it.
That's all she ever had to say.
You talk about yes. I had a server for my emails, just like you have a server for your emails.
You know what? Right there on stage, Donald, give me the first 5 amendments to the Constitution. Go.
Yeah. And
right. And how about this? How about this? Just like I had a private server for my emails, you have Mark Burnett withholding footage of you on your show. How about that? Why don't we get that, Don? How many more people did you grab? How many more of your own contestants did you assault and molest?
How many times did you open the door to the women's dressing room during the
bloop and the Miss Teen pageant? Come on now.
And what were you doing with Jeffrey Epstein? What was and my husband?
All of that.
What were you and Bill down there doing with Jeffrey Epstein? You lecherous
dirt bag.
Bill told me some things. All she would have to say is, Bill told me some things. You may want to step down.
I like that. So, yeah, when we're gonna have an adult conversation about the stuff Bill told me about you two.
Don, okay. I had a conversation with my wife. You might want to pipe down.
We got pictures.
Right.
Makes that cigar shit look like child's play.
Bashida Velasacera. It's a shame. It is a shame because people and James Comey.
Goddamn Comey.
And you heard, we haven't talked about this. James Comey and another FBI, was it McCabe? Who was the other guy, Chuck?
I'm trying to think. Comey, McCabe.
Both of them got the most invasive IRS audit possible.
Right.
Within 2 years of one another.
Yeah.
While Trump was in office.
Yeah.
Oh, that was just, it was completely random. The head of the FBI gets a random IRS audit. Where does that happen, you lying ass? Yeah, right. You lying ass. That's the proctology audit. And 2 of Trump's political enemies just happened to come up. 1 out of 34,000 taxpayers.
And Vera Jordan did hit it on the head when she says that Hillary was walking on eggshells because of Bill. I think that's pretty damn clear that it's like, he was a liability. I know a lot of people don't like to
Again,
hear that because a lot of people have a lot of fond reminiscences of
yeah, learn how to spin it.
that.
All all she would have had to do, and again, I mean, it sounds like I'm doing, 2020 hindsight. I could have told her this in the moment. Girl, lean into my husband ain't shit, but you know how it is. That's all she would have had to say. Y'all know how it is. I mean, look at him. He's cute now. It's hard to resist. I get it. But you know what? He's not running. I am. End of story. Yeah, he did some bullshit. And he's been tried for that. Next, and I wasn't in that room.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm not with him. Are you on mute? We can't hear you, Tom. You did mute yourself.
I did mute myself. I was preparing a clip that we need momentarily in the show. But yes, that's exactly. I don't know that man.
I'm sorry to this man. I don't know who.
I don't gowns, beautiful gowns. That's a throwback to Aretha Franklin, who when Aretha Franklin was asked to comment on some artists of the day. So Whitney Houston, beautiful voice, da 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 da. Mariah Carey, incredible range. What about Taylor Swift? Gowns, beautiful gowns.
Yeah, please understand, Queen Soul was shady as fuck.
As hell, she was so damn shady. I love Aretha Franklin. Thank you, Aretha Franklin, for being the national treasure that you were.
Speaking of Black national treasures, Black folks and treasures, just other things. I don't know if you all paid attention to what happened, but your boy, Byron
Which boy?
Allen, this one.
Oh, yes.
Byron Allen bought the Black News Network for $11 million. Now, that may sound like a lot of money, but remember, he bought the Weather Channel for $300 million.
Yeah, Black News Channel was a bargain at twice the price.
Yes. And so he's matter of fact, I still have this open. I don't, but there was an article that went along with that picture I saw on the internet talking about the fact that he was a little upset that nobody was bidding to rescue the Black News Network from bankruptcy, and that $11 million, he knows it was a bargain. He knows it was a steal, but he also knows that he has an opportunity to put forth a Black-owned, Black-run network news show delivering like high quality stuff. And because of that, I want to say, really quickly to him, hey, what's up, Byron? How you doing?
Hey, big head.
Hey, big head. I got this little show over here called Steel Sharp and Steel. You might want to check us out. It might be good for your little network and whatnot. Come holler at your girl.
There it is.
Hey, Brother Allen. Tom Cunningham here, and I'm in Los Angeles, so available for lunch, Zooms, same time zone. Google me, baby. We got this.
Shameless plug.
Shameless. Shameless. I hope he sees it too. I know I'll be isolating that clip and shooting him an email. So we tag his name. That's right, Anthony Turner. Tag his name, son. We know I have a frat brother who is a talent on his network, and so we're gonna try to make that happen.
He's buying those Fox affiliates too. Yeah, because he could be the next. I don't even want to use that dude's name. He could be the next media mogul, owning all of the outlets and controlling the narrative for a good swath of the United States if he keeps it up.
That's right. He could be the Reginald Lewis of television ownership.
That's right.
I know that's right.
Closed mouths don't get fed. Yep. That's
it. Tag him, and tell him we talk about it over here.
Yeah, we talking about you, Byron. We love you, Byron.
Right.
We can't wait to be on your network, Byron.
Right. We even do skits, Byron. You should check out our.
We do skits. We have songs, and we are not as expensive as some of that talent that you had on the previous network. Lower overhead.
Yes.
But just to be aware, though, Joy is getting $6,800 a day. So
It's not a lot. For
figure it
100
out.
kids.
It isn't.
Mm-mm.
Weekly show?
Yeah.
What that is? That ain't nothing.
Peanuts. Man, I
Nothing.
work with peanuts. There you go.
Not even Virginia, those nice extra crispy Virginia nuts. Not even the premium ones. That's like Planters, honey roasted.
Right. This
You
is
can get them
how
at
much
CVS,
Right.
at the Kroger, at the Vons out here.
You can get them boiled in the gas station. You play cards.
Burled, and then they soft. You ain't even got to have TIFAs.
Right. We're off topic. So.
We are off topic. So let's get into it. We had some things that we promised you. And so one of the things that gave me joy, not you, Joy, personal, heart fortifying joy was this little incident with Josh Hawley. Now, y'all have heard about Josh Hawley. Josh Hawley is a congressperson, very Trumpy. I believe he's Ivy League educated, but positions himself as a man of the people. He's trifling. And what you probably remember him from the most is some of this that happened. We have a clip from the coverage today, and some of the coverage of the hearings, and here it is.
He raised his fist in solidarity with the protesters already amassing at the security gates. We spoke with a Capitol Police officer who was out there at the time. She told us that Senator Hawley's gesture riled up the crowd, and it bothered her greatly because he was doing it in a safe space, protected by the officers and the barriers. Later that day, Senator Hawley fled after those protesters he helped to rile up stormed the Capitol. See for yourself.
Meep, meep. I had to leave in the bit where the people were just laughing their ass off.
Because
Run,
what can you do other than laugh? I mean, what a coward! You know, what a coward.
Well, and here's the headline from Huffington Post. I blurred the offensive language, but Mark Stepney. Wait, go back to Mark Stepney.
He did. He actually did.
I mean, where's the lie?
I mean,
he did, and these are his own people. That's the part that really scares me. Like you're running from your own kind,
own people that you just riled up.
Right. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, the thing is, though, Chuck, you do get it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wasn't being genuine. He didn't want to be anywhere near the unwashed masses.
No.
He was just showing solidarity so he could sell it on a coffee mug.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And if it had gone a different way, he would have been one of the lower level heroes of the day.
Exactly.
Right? Because we also have to realize that most of the MAGAs that were invading that building that day, they don't know these people.
They know Trump.
Right, exactly. So anybody could have been in the crossfires, no pun intended, by that foolish crowd. So he actually was a coward, but he actually was kind of wise. He recognized, oh wow, they have let fools in. Let me get the hell out of here before I get.
Because most of them couldn't pick anybody other than Pelosi out of a lineup. And
Pelosi,
I know that's right.
That's the best they would have been able to do. Pelosi.
And I degraded him. I called him a congressperson. He is a senator, one of the two senators from Missouri. And that is just, Mark Stepney is ashamed of him. We know.
Yeah.
I feel for you, bro. I'm sorry. And yeah, he continues to be a punk, as Anthony says. And he does. I love every time somebody gets undone on screen with footage or a statement that they made or whatever, and then they immediately talk about the fake news. Bro, it's your face and your lips moving with sound coming out of your mouth.
Right.
How is that fake, bro? Context. What context? You ran across a hall. It was only 2 seconds. It was you running.
Right. Were you?
And I love the little focus dot that tracked his ass. Just oh, you know what it was? The Benny Hill song would have been perfect. Oh, you lost generation. You don't know nothing about Benny Hill. Oh, Benny Hill, that 12 o'clock in the morning thing that you turned on with the sound all the way down so that your parents didn't know.
First British television show I ever saw.
Exactly. Harry says he's the prototypical hoe type. Not hoe type. Hoe type. He's a pro hoe type. Ha!
I love it.
He's a prototype. Oh, Tom and his portmanteaus. Oh, he loves. Oh, wow. Okay, Andre or Joy Trey, 3,000 in Atlanta too. Look at you. You doing the whole damn thing. All right, so that exactly. We trying to get your attention, brother Allen. Come on, man. I can do weather. Joy can do weather. We're multi-purpose. You got a talent show. We can do it all here.
Yes.
Quadruple threat when Sharon comes back. Quadruple threat, bro. Come on, man. Come on, Cletus. So that was the one thing. Then there was the former president himself. Now, we've all been waiting, hoping that Trump would actually do the A Few Good Men thing, where the Colonel Jessup is called to the stand, and he's like,
you get him.
Ask a question, and that he would just flip out and completely melt down. But we got the next most closest thing to Trump showing the entirety of his anal cavity when they pressed play on the outtakes. Now, it took a day for him to muster up the wherewithal to say these words on camera, calling for peace, supposedly. But it was a tough 24 hours for him, as this will demonstrate. So here we go.
I'd like to begin by addressing the heinous attack yesterday. And to those who broke the law, you will pay. You do not represent our movement. You do not represent our country. And if you broke the law, you can't say that. I'm not going to. I already said you will pay. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defied the seat of justice. It's defiled, right? See, I can't see it very well. Okay, I'll do this. I'm going to do this. Let's go. But this election is now over. Congress has certified the results. I don't want to say the election's over. I just want to say Congress has certified the results without saying the election's over, okay?
But Congress is certified. Now Congress is
Yeah, but
now Congress
I didn't say over. So let me see. Go to the paragraph before.
There's another one. Whoops. Yeah, there's another one out there where he is saying the word yesterday.
Oh, yeah, yes. I don't want to say yesterday. Yesterday's that's a hard word. Yesterday. Yesterday's it's the hardest word in the English language, I think. Everybody says that yesterday is the hardest word in the English language. It's such a hard word. So very hard. Which is not something Melania says.
Oh shit, look who's in the building.
Hello, Sharon, with the comments. That was for you, dear friend. The Melania thing. And Melania, now the new juice on Melania is that she's claiming she absolutely had no idea what was going on January 6th. It was just like
I was stopping. I don't know.
these insurrection things were not things that I knew
About
was going on because they do not do insurrection things at the mall.
I try as a rule to be at least 600 or 700 miles away from my husband at
At
any
all
time.
times, and in Balenciaga they do not have the Fox Newses on the screens. It's just champagne and things. And so this is why I did not know what was going on.
We are going to so many. There's so many hells. There's so many levels of hell to visit.
And I'll visit every circle if it gets this if it gets this idiot out the mix. I'm going to not Justin Trudeau's IG.
I wouldn't be surprised if liking all his pics.
Yeah, just like double tap.
Telephone me.
The doubling tap.
Telephone me. Call me.
Yeah,
Wait.
call me.
Wait, hang on. Chan was right. That whole thing was his.
Oh my gosh, get out of my head, Chan. I'm doing live. It was the whole Bill O'Reilly thing. It was completely Bill O'Reilly. Yesterday, such a very hard word. Such a very the hardest of words.
But did you notice his posture and his bearing when he said he didn't want to say the election was over? He looked like that kid that was like, I don't like broccoli. I don't want to say the election.
Right. Can
I just say this?
Mom, don't make me say the election's over. Gosh.
All right with my friends.
It was like Napoleon Dynamite. When they were left alone and he's with his brother. It's like, gosh, just go feed the alpaca, gosh. It's like, dude, so many horrible things that you have done, Donald J. Trump. Just so many. Not bloop. She said bloop.
Petulant man-child.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is it.
Slogan: Trump, petulant man-child, 2016.
Now we were talking about Trump's antics and how it impacted the Georgia election, and of course, the Georgia election is very much in the focus. We had some news a couple of weeks ago that a single poll had Raphael Warnock, the sitting senator of Georgia, up by double digits. And since then, there's a couple of polls that have come out where the math is adjusting. Most polls still have Raphael Warnock in the lead, but within the statistical margin of error, which means, well, neck and no neck, which means that voter turnout in Georgia in these midterms, your vote is 5 times as important. So you've got to be there. You've got to do the early voting. It's going to help Stacey Abrams. You've got to make sure that you are out. And we've already talked, not an inconsiderable amount, about Herschel Walker and his verbal flubs and the idiocy that comes out of his mouth. But do not be deceived. That man is Georgia football, and it is the South. And he played for UGA.
There are people that vote for him just for those.
Just for that.
The reason it's that close is because, like you said, he is Georgia football.
He's Georgia football.
Think about how many people, considering the state and the ruralness of most of it, didn't go to high school. I mean, didn't go to college or didn't finish college. UGA is more popular than the Falcons.
Well, I mean,
ain't hard to do, but still, my point is they will vote for him the same way. I'm gonna take you back the same way Texas would have voted for Troy Aikman back in the day.
I mean,
like,
you ain't never lied.
It doesn't matter if he can't spell Herschel. You know, it doesn't matter if he
can't walk.
If he can't, see what you did.
You see what
It doesn't matter if what did he say about clean air? Why should we clean the air when it's gonna go?
Yeah, because our air goes over to China, and then China sends its dirty air over to us for us to clean, and then. But Here's why they will vote for him. It took 30 years after he won the national championship for UGA for them to win again. He is a demigod.
Yeah.
He just is. And it
I mean, you know, this is, I'm gonna show you what Harry is talking about right here. You know, he is, you know, by all intents and purposes, special. People love Herschel. He is beloved. I don't see myself out.
I will just say this. There is a line in Tropic Thunder that Robert Downey Jr.'s character says to Ben Stiller's character. Yeah, because he's talking about Ben Stiller's movie Simple Jack.
Simple Jack. Mm-hmm.
And prayers to our beloved sister Brittany Griner, who is being unjustly held in Russian captivity. But if they want a popular black athlete,
yeah, he'd be way better, and it would show his patriotism if he volunteered to switch out with her, you know,
and his foreign intelligence. Well, intelligence is probably too many syllables. His foreign know-how, his foreign stuff. Yeah, it would show his foreign stuff, his other country stuff.
Yeah,
if he would do that trade, and Herschel. Russia and China touch in places, so maybe you can take some air with you. Pack it in your carry-on.
Lungs.
You said lungs. Well, yeah. Well, that would be hot air, and that's going to contribute to global warming. So maybe you could put that air in the freezer, and then take it out as ice cubes. And put it in the ocean to cool the ocean down.
Somebody come get him.
Herschel can't find me, so there's that.
In rare forms, like if Herschel Walker wins, I fully expect him to say "yabba dabba doo."
Well, that's 5 syllables in a row, so
you might get yabba.
Yeah, nah.
You're more likely to get side-eye than anything. Yeah, I took it there.
We're gonna have to send him a belt buckle. That would be amazing. Or send Raphael Warnock a belt buckle so he can slap Herschel Walker with it. Oh, they have confirmed a debate.
Yes,
against all reason and rational logic. They have confirmed a debate for 2 weeks before the damn election. You talk about October surprise. Whew.
Right. That's going to surprise.
Not surprise.
That's the stupidest thing that his camp could have let him do. You can't debate. You know what they're going to try to do? They're going to try to pull a Trump. They're going to try and pull.
And change the rules at the end or something, or we're backing out because such and such.
Get him off his game.
Oh, no. Herschel doesn't have that skill set.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to try that. And it's going to fail miserably.
I think they're going to show his willingness to participate. And on October 17th, he's going to have a COVID diagnosis. They are not going to let him debate Raphael Warnock. I don't see it. I hope they do.
Wow. There was a time. It was great to have the same last name as Herschel Walker.
Not Reclaw.
Backwards. Okay, Reclaw.
I was like, that is a really interesting name.
Yeah.
Now the whole name is backwards. Okay, I see you. I see what you did there. I like the ingenuity. That works for me.
We're coming up on an hour, so
we are coming up on an hour, and we are trying to keep things more measured. We can do that, Byron. We can program to time. Mm-hmm. Just saying. And we know that there are 8 minutes of commercial avails in each half hour of a show, so we can do a 44-minute show. Just as a heads up.
I got what you want, got what you need. I can make your network hot. for the low of $6,800 a day. You know what? There was I don't know if
You
it's
got
good
4
news.
pundits on your talk show. And we are on here every week. So we got the whole thing. It is a package, Byron. Mr. Allen. Boss.
Boss.
Let's make it happen, boss.
There's one thing I want another picture. So remember this cop Loman?
Oh, yes.
Killed Tamir Rice years ago, right? So there's a town in Pennsylvania. Where is it? Williamsport, I think, Pennsylvania, where the town now Williamsport, Pennsylvania hired him as a police officer.
After.
But recently, this is a new story that I'm talking about now.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. And so, matter of fact, let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah. He was hired by the city council, who did not tell the mayor who they were hiring, the Democratic mayor. And when it was discovered exactly who he was, I'm going to read what I'm looking at right here from an article from the WS website. Anyway, public outcry against the hiring of Loman started as soon as the Tioga Borough announced his hiring on its Facebook page July 5th. The next day, 50 residents of the community of in north central Pennsylvania rallied outside the Tioga Borough building.
How many people did you say are in this town?
700.
This is what 50 of them rallied?
Yes. That's a decent
That's
percentage.
a bunch.
That's a fuck ton. Yeah, everybody. That's everybody in a
That's
town.
That's everybody in them.
That's like 1 million people showing up in Atlanta, you know?
That's a lot.
It's a lot. So here's the thing. Michelle Appleby, who joined the rally, said, "I'm here to protest the hiring of the police officer who shot Tamir Rice." She said, "I've got kids. They play with airsoft guns and they play with BB guns. I saw the video of that police officer get out of the car and shoot that kid with no warning, and that has stuck with me ever since." Right. The mayor also took part in the rally because he's like, nobody told my office that this was the motherfucker they were hiring. And he said, didn't even see his resume information and didn't hear about his background before his hiring. And so he's like, no, I'm also saying no as the mayor. Now, here's the good part. Tioga County, which is the whole county itself, not just the city of Williamsburg or whatever, is 41,000 people. 97% white, less than 1% black. So the reason I like this story is because these white folks out here saying, "Oh hell no, not this guy, no fucking way." He had to resign 2 days after he was sworn in. As soon as they found out, they were like, "Nope, let me tell you, we're not gonna." So to the town of, let me make sure I get the name right, in Tioga Borough, to the town of, where is it? Williamsport.
Real American heroes. Yes. You fired the racist cop who shot Tamir Rice. Oh yes.
Yes, I salute you for that, because again, that's what you are when you're an ally. You are standing up for what's right. You're standing up for what you know to be the best course of action, and you're saying we will not tolerate this.
That's right.
Think about how small of a town they sent him to, and they really thought they won't.
He could hide in there,
etc. He can hide over here. This is Pennsylvania, not Ohio. But they were like, Loman, Google. Oh hell no, no.
And let's be clear, bro. You're not going to be hired in Whoville.
But that is what they tend to do. Is they let them resign.
Right.
If you get fired, then there's
it's in your record.
Let you resign. And
he gonna go out to Idaho with Mark Furman and them.
Exactly that.
Wyoming, Montana, one of the Dakotas. Mm-hmm. He can go to South Dakota and be Kristi Noem's lieutenant governor, probably. Oh, before we go, because we are right at an hour and we are committed to keeping it short, I just couldn't let the show expire without saying Steve Bannon was found guilty of contempt of Congress. And each of those charges, it took them about an hour to come back with a verdict. Each of those charges could be a year in prison. Now, they would probably have them served concurrently as opposed to consecutively. And of course, he had a lot to say. But
at least 6 months.
huh?
Just 6 months. 6 months in a real prison.
Real prison. But shout out to the man when Bannon was trying to do a press conference who stood out next to him with a whistle and just blew the whistle the whole time so you couldn't hear what Bannon was saying. Oh, thank you, Jason Hayes. I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either because I don't do baseball at all.
I don't do Little League baseball for sure.
I was 8 years old when I did know there was a Little League championship because then the little black girl Braids was pitching in one once upon a time.
Oh no, I knew there was a Little League championship. I just had no idea it was in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. I didn't think that they would have something. I mean, where are the hotels? Where do the people come from? I mean, where do they stay when the Little League is there? Because that's got to be like dozens of teams.
All right, Rec Law.
I know that's right.
1 minute for break. Hey, y'all. Yeah. Okay, let's go to lunch. We'll come back in an hour.
Ooh, yeah. Can we get? Can I get a latte with 2 extra shots and a pump of vanilla and a pump of hazelnut?
I have a latte for we know he's guilty.
Extra. Guilty as hell. Hashtag fry him.
Right.
So Sharpies, thank you. Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you do have another thing. Sorry.
I have one little funny thing. Like, okay, so y'all know that I partake in edibles from time to time. And so, it gives you different feelings at different times. Like I took one about an hour and 20 minutes ago. So that's why we went to an hour. But there was this video that came out and I don't know if they're high or not, but the conversation in this car is everything you ever wanted. And so it doesn't take but a second. It's like 30 seconds long. But tell me.
Oh, this is the laughing out loud. Yeah.
Yes. This just a little funny thing to end your night.
Why is that P there in pneumonia?
It is very unnecessary.
Bro, just take it off.
It's stupid.
Like the P in pneumonia and the P in possums, it's not needed.
I just found out about the P pneumonia this weekend.
If that T in tsunami don't get the fuck out of here.
Why is the T in tsunami?
Why is it a K in knuckles?
Just from the backseat, if that T in tsunami don't get all the way the fuck out of here. That is the part that took me out.
It took me all the way out. Yeah, that was funny. We have a clip that we will play for you next week because we are going to get out. We're going to keep it. You got to keep that tab because this young sister went slap the F off. Yes. And but we close on a comedic note. Byron, we can do comedy. We can do serious. We can.
We can even do sketch. Just let us know.
We can do sketches. Yeah. And look at this. Look at these. Look at these amazing overlay faces and suits. Look at that. Bow ties, beautiful chains, beautiful gowns, wonderful gowns. See, this is what we look like. This is, and I'll build my own intros. We have intros and stuff. We don't need nothing. We don't need anything but a platform.
Right. Just tell us which words we can't say. We're good.
Right. Wouldn't mind a researcher and a producing assistant, but we're not even asking for that. Just put us on the air.
I'll put my pay down to like an even 5, and then that gives the money for the researchers.
That sounds like a great deal, bro. Great deal. Great deal.
$1 million talent for thousands.
Millions.
Yeah.
Thank you, Byron.
Limited offer while supplies last.
Limited offer while supplies last. We will be back. It is the 22nd today.
Yep.
So
we're on a 2-week rotation now, right?
Right. So we're off. We will see you all in August.
Yes, August 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4,
5th. See, look at that simpatico. You don't get that from everywhere. That's why we the Wonder Twins. Just activate it.
Yes.
5th. All right, everybody. We love you. We thank you for being a part of us. And we will see you next time on Steel Sharpens Steel. Look at these fancy graphics, Mr. Allen. They're fancy.